Beep, beep.
Oh, I'm so excited.
I know you are.
I've worked so hard on the set and design.
And they really look great.
I mean, it's always been my dream.
I know it has. Hi everyone, I'm Chrissy.
And I'm Jem.
And today I am going to be telling a true story from the Bible.
And I'm gonna help.
Yes, you are. Now this story is from a book in the Bible called Jonah. And today we're going to look at Jonah chapters 1 and 2.
Right. Should I go get ready?
That sounds like a great idea.
Woohoo!
Now Jem and some of her friends have made the set and the puppets, and they are going to help me tell this story. But I'm actually going to need everyone else's help as well. While I tell this story, some of the time I'll say he knew, or Jonah knew, or they knew, or we know, or something like that. And when I do, I want everyone to join in saying this. God's a God of grace, and God's a God of kindness. He's slow to anger and abounding in love. Now you might be wondering what I'm doing with my hands. I'm actually speaking another language called Auslan while I do these words. So how about we see if we can all do it together? It starts like this. We know God's a God of grace. Can you do that with me? God's a God of grace. Good job. Now that word grace, well, that just means all the amazing things that God gives us even though we don't deserve it. And then we go, God's a God of kindness. Your turn. God's a God of kindness. And then we go, He's slow to anger and abounding in love. Try that. He's slow to anger and abounding in love. And that big word abounding, well, that just means lots and lots and lots. That's how big God's love is. Excellent. Now let's see what happens in the story of Jonah. Jonah was a prophet from God.
Hello, I'm Jonah, and I'm a prophet from God.
One day, God said to Jonah, Jonah, get up and go to the great city of Nineveh and preach against it, because its wickedness has come up before me. Now Jonah had heard lots of things about Nineveh. Nineveh was the capital city of a country called Assyria. And the Ninevites and the Assyrians were mean and nasty people. They would hurt others, they would kill others, and they would take over other people's land.
Hurt. Kill. Take.
And Jonah was an Israelite. And the Israelites and the Assyrians, they were enemies. So you might think that Jonah would have been pretty happy if God had told him to go and preach against Nineveh.
Woohoo!
But Jonah was not happy with this job because Jonah knew, everyone, God's a God of grace and God's a God of kindness. He's slow to anger and abounding in love. So Jonah knew that if he went and told the Ninevites that God was angry with them, maybe they'd change, and then, well, God might forgive them. But these were Jonah's enemies. He didn't want that. And so, when Jonah heard God say, Jonah, get up and go to Nineveh, Jonah got up and went the other way. In fact, Jonah went and found a boat with some sailors on the water, and Jonah jumped on board. Soon Jonah was sailing in the exact opposite direction from Nineveh. And Jonah told the sailors with a laugh in his voice,
I'm running away from God.
You sure that's a good idea?
Yeah, he'll never find me out here.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Well, for quite a while, everything was going along fine. So eventually, Jonah went downstairs for a rest.
Hey, fellas, I'm really tired out. I'm going to go downstairs and have a rest.
Sleep tight.
Don't let the bed bugs bite.
So Jonah went peacefully to sleep. But Jonah should have known that, everyone, God's a God of grace and God's a God of kindness. He's slow to anger and abounding in love. And God wanted the Ninevites to hear his message, so he was not going to let Jonah get away that easily. So while Jonah was asleep, God sent a strong wind upon the sea, and the waves started to get bigger and bigger.
All hands on deck!
The storm got bigger and bigger, and it looked like the boat might fall apart. The sailors were terrified. And they all called out to their own false gods.
Help us!
But it didn't work. The storm got bigger and bigger. So the sailors thought they were going to die.
We're all gonna die!
The captain of the ship looked around and saw that Jonah was not above board helping. So he ran downstairs and he woke Jonah up.
Wake up, wake up! Get up and call on your God. Maybe he will save us.
So Jonah woke up and came above board, but still the storm raged on and on. Well, eventually the sailors decided they would have to find out why this was all happening. And they discovered that it was Jonah's fault. He told them,
My God is the one who made the heaven and the earth and the sea.
well, when the sailors heard this, they were terrified.
You're running away from him? Are you crazy?
So they asked Jonah.
What should we do to make the storm stop?
Jonah knew that the storm was all his fault. So Jonah said,
If you want to be saved, you'll have to throw me overboard.
well, the sailors didn't want to do this, but the storm kept getting bigger. And so eventually they grabbed Jonah and they threw him into the sea.
1, 2, 3!
As soon as Jonah was thrown overboard, the storm stopped. And the sailors were amazed at God's power.
Whoa! What a God!
The sailors were now learning that God's a God of grace and God's a God of kindness. He's slow to anger and abounding in love. Meanwhile, Jonah was sinking. And as he sank, the water swirled around him. He was tossed back and forth by the currents. He felt that death was upon him. And at last he cried out.
Oh God, my God, I know you can save me. Please help.
And suddenly, God provided a way for Jonah to be saved. A great big fish came and swallowed Jonah whole. It would have been stinky and yucky, but Jonah realized that God had saved him. And so from inside the fish, Jonah prayed.
I praise you, God, my God, that you have rescued me. You are the God of salvation to all who will call to you.
And then, after 3 days and nights, God commanded the fish and it vomited him out onto shore. See, Jonah was having to learn what he already knew, that God's a God of grace and God's a God of kindness. He's slow to anger and abounding in love.
Wow, that was so much fun.
You did so well, Jem.
Thanks, but Jonah didn't.
Well, no, he didn't.
I mean, he just completely disobeyed God.
That's right, he did.
So he did not deserve God to be kind and loving to him.
Well, no. But Jonah was learning that God is a God of grace and kindness to him.
Yeah.
But the Bible tells us that God's grace, God's kindness, and God's love was not just towards Jonah. It was also towards Jonah's enemy.
But Jonah was learning that the hard way.
He sure was. But you know what?
What?
We know even more than Jonah.
You do?
Well, yeah, because the Bible tells us that we can know God's grace, God's kindness, and God's love through Jesus.
Through Jesus?
Well, yes, God's grace and kindness and love led to God giving us Jesus to pay for all the times that we've disobeyed and ignored God as well.
Cool.
And now we have been given a command just like Jonah had. The Bible tells us to tell all people, even the people who we don't like and who don't like us, about God. And why do we do this? Well, because we know God's a God of grace and God's a God of kindness. He's slow to anger and abounding in love.
Whew, you know, I could do this much better if I had 2 hands.
I'm sure you could, Jem.
Well, I'm going to go and get my team together to practice the next installment of the Jonah story.
That is a great idea.
See you later.
See you, Jem. Well, we've created some games and craft ideas and discussion questions that you can check out at quizworks.com/home delivery. And next time, we will see if Jonah learns the lesson that God's grace and kindness and love is for everyone. See you next time.